Hey everyone, in today's Modern Warfare 2 DMZ video, I'll show you some important tips and tricks you must know for Season 2 of DMZ. The start of Season 2 has brought on some new features and changes to existing mechanics, and I wanted to make a quick video showing the most important tips and tricks for you to be successful in Season 2. I'll have timestamps in the description below if you want to jump to a specific spot in the video. Okay, let's dive into this first one, the big one. You can no longer jump on top of the EVAC helicopter. It will kill you, the blades will kill you. This was a very common method for solo players to sneak away on someone else's EVAC, but right now, the helicopter blades are killing you, the back little one will kill you, and the top one will kill you. Now you can land on the tail, on the side that doesn't have the blade, and right between the blade and the tail on the back of the helicopter, you can still land up there. But you got to be pretty precise with your landing, otherwise you're going to get chopped up. Okay, for this next one, there are a lot of missions that require you to get kills with a specific gun, and sometimes from a specific distance, like over 75 meters, for example. So a couple quick tips and methods on this one. Number one, you can down a player with a different gun, let's say a sniper rifle, and weapon switch to the weapon that you're trying to get the kill with, and then finish the down player with the mission specific gun. Now, if you're trying to get kills with a mission gun from a specific distance, you can down them and then run away until you reach that distance and just wait for them to bleed out. That will count as well. So keep that in mind. Two very, very important things when dealing with the mission specific gun kills. All right, next up, we've got the new dead drop locations for Season 2. There are 6 brand new locations for us to go to and memorize. I'll have a link in the description below of this map so you can have access to it, so you can kind of learn these new locations. Once again, dead drops are producing an extra 25% value on items and cash that you put inside of them. So for example, if you have 10,000 in cash and you put it into the dead drop, you are going to get 20 minutes off of your cooldown on the insured gun slot. If you just extracted with that $10,000, then it would be 15 minutes. So still big value for using the dead drop when you have extra cash and items. Also, you can dead drop things like the weapons case or self-revives or revive pistols. They all have specific values to help reduce your insured gun slot. The weapons case, for example, is 50 minutes reduced off your loadout. So basically, you can get your gun back right away. Now, beware, if you do dead drop the weapons case, it is still going to have you highlighted as holding the weapons case even though you do not. So players are still going to be aggressively going after you because you're on the map showing that you still have it even though you've dead dropped it. Keep that in mind. Also, self-revives are 20 minutes off of your cooldown reduction, which is wild considering how common they are at the hospitals. So keep this in mind. Also, with Season 2, if you didn't notice, the insured gun is now 50% of the amount of time as it was before. So previously, the first slot was 2 hours, and now it's 1 hour. Slot number 2 was 4 hours, now it's 2 hours. And slot number 3 is, instead of 6 hours, 3 hours. So getting your insured guns back is way faster. But knowing these dead drops is just going to help fuel the unlock of your insured slot over and over and over again. Okay, next up, this is new as of Season 2. Players that hit enter or escape and get to the menu on the upper right hand corner and click on the headphones icon and then click on your squad, you're going to see a number right next to the headphone icon at the top there. That number indicates how many players are on the server right now. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This has been right for me almost every single time. There was one moment where it showed a 1 when it was me and my 2 teammates were on the map, which didn't quite match up. But for the most part, this is working. So you can use this to your advantage to really know how many players are left on the map. Now, there is an alternate method to know if you are the last squad on the map on El Mazrah, and that is by utilizing the hunt squad. So if you have a hunt squad highlighted and you become the last squad on the map, that hunt contract is going to turn white away from its green coloring. That means it is now invisible and no longer there, and hence no more squads are on the map. Now, if there's 4 hunt squads up, that does not mean that there are 4 squads remaining on the map. There could be, but it doesn't mean that there are 4. It just means that there is a guaranteed 1 squad minimum left on the map. Now, keep in mind, if all of the hunt squads are gone, yes, there's a good chance that you're the last one alive, but theoretically, of course, all those missions could have been completed by squads, and hence players are still left on the map. But the only true absolute guarantee is that if you're going to final evac and you see a hunt squad that is still up on the map, there is another squad 100%. Okay, next up, little known trick actually. Know if there is a safe inside of a building that's near you. Now, of course, finding out safe locations can be done by doing the Destroy Supply mission, and it will ping a radius around you, showing all the active safe locations. But this is more if you just stumble across a building and you see this. This is how you're gonna know if there's a safe in there that you haven't discovered yet. So one thing we know for sure is that if you are near a building and you see a tier 2 guard and a tier 1 guard both kind of walking around, and the tier 2 is kind of by himself, there's not like a whole squadron of tier 2 around him, there is likely a safe in that building. So keep this in mind for an easy access and knowledge of a safe in your area. Next up, I want to talk about mortar strikes and airstrikes and the angle in which they are coming on the minimap. So if you're seeing an airstrike coming from your right to your left, that means that the enemy team is to your right, calling it from your right. So the angle means everything. Which direction it is coming from is going to tell you the direction that the enemy team is coming at. Okay, I want to talk about predicting the final evac on Al Mazrah. This is very, very important to know where that final evac is going to be so that you can prepare yourself as needed. So what you're going to do is draw a line from the center of the radiation zone all the way and connect it to the furthest of the 3 evacs that you have on your screen. Then you're going to extend that line all the way to the edge of the map, and whichever final evac location is closest to that line is going to be your final evac. There are some rare exceptions to the rule, but just generally speaking, that is your play. I'll have a link in the description below of all of the final evac locations. They are the same as Season 1, but I'll have a link in the description below for anyone that needs that. Okay, next up is a couple little tricks with the hostage. So the first thing is, and this is more for solo players, but it is quite viable when you're in a squad, it's how to get the hostage on top of a car when you're in a pinch. And you can't jump with the hostage onto the car because most of these cars you can't access in a standard jump from the ground. So what you want to do is lay the hostage down on the ground right next to the car. Then you're going to go onto the car and go prone right on the edge where the hostage is and wiggle around until you see the prompt to pick up the hostage. And when you pick them up, you're still standing on the car and now the hostage is in your hand and you can then lay that hostage down on the car. You can also put the hostage on the side of a helicopter. He's got magnetic buns of steel. You can fly him anywhere on the map or all the way, touching this side of your helicopter. So really, really good if you're trying to do some of those missions where you have to complete a hostage in less than 2 minutes. Knowing these strategies can help. Also, if you have a teammate, you can have them just push you in the car. So if you stand in front of a car and your teammate's driving and you're not inside of it, you will move at the speed of the car even though you're standing right on the front bumper. So a new thing that was added with Season 2 is dog tag values. Previously in Season 1, all dog tags were 2.5k worth, but now you'll see some silver dog tags worth 5k, gold dog tags worth 25k, and Damascus dog tags worth 50,000. And this is all based on the exfil streak of the player that you killed. So a bronze dog tag is 1 successful exfil streak, silver is 2 exfil streak, 5 exfil streak for the gold, and 10 full stack exfil streak for the Damascus dog tag. That is some pretty serious cash, so make sure you're keeping a lookout on the left-hand side when you're looting those dead players. So next I want to talk about pleading for help. So pleading was added into the game during the late stages of Season 1. And what it means is if you have players alive on your team and you go down full killed, you have the option to plead by clicking your interact button and holding it down for an extended amount of time. And then all of a sudden, your body shows up as a pleading for help body, and the enemy team can walk over and do one of two things. They can loot you, or they can click the button and revive you and add you to their team. Now, this is really, really important, not only because obviously it can save your life, but players are using this as a means to get more information about your squad. So let's just say I go down and my 2 teammates are in the middle of fighting your guys, and I fully plead, and I get a different camera angle. This is very, very important. I get a camera angle that is around my body. So if the players that killed me are near my body, I'm going to be better prepared to give call-outs to my teammates that are still alive. So this is important to know. Yes, you can use plead as it was intended, which is to just get on the other team if you're very far away from your team or for whatever reason. Just know that when you're doing this, you're getting a better camera angle of your dead body. And that information can be priceless sometimes. Next up, I want to talk about my favorite scope in the entire game. That is the SZ Holotherm. This scope became obviously very popular when Building 21 came out, which is a very, very dark map. But golly, this scope is really good on all maps, including the new Ashika Island map, as well as Al Mazrah, even though it's bright daylight. You're really getting a lot of value with the SZ Holotherm. I literally use it on all 3 maps now. That's how much I'm feeling it. If you're looking to unlock this, it is level 12 on the PDSW or P90, whatever you want to call it. So once you get that gun to level 12, you now have access to the SZ Holotherm on all your guns. Next up, we've got something that was around all of Season 1, but a lot of people tend to forget this, and I have never actually put this on a tips guide before, but I'm going to do it right now. SAM sites block aerial kill streaks. So if you have a SAM site up and you've turned it on, you are blocking the enemy's ability to use a UAV, an advanced UAV, a mortar strike, a precision, anything that flies in the air. So keep that in mind. This is a huge, huge defensive maneuver if you know that a team is coming. Perhaps you are being hunted and you're going to hold down an area and there's a SAM site nearby. Turn that sucker on so that you do not get UAV during your fight. Okay, so next I want to talk about safe and SAM site progress bars. They no longer retract when you walk away from the radius of you capturing them. So you can capture a SAM site or a safe halfway, go kill some AI or engage with players, come back, and it's going to be exactly where you left it, instead of retracting all the way back to the start, which is the way it was in Season 1. So this is a huge, huge upgrade for us. Last but not least, I want to talk about the best place to farm for rare items like the Golden Skull or the Building 21 access card. And the best place to do this is behind locked doors, specifically the ones that lead to actual rooms. Not denied areas, because the denied areas are going to be filled with orange crates, which are not bad, but they don't typically have the rare items in them. However, locked doors have a much greater chance of having loose loot rare items, like that gold skull, or the GPU, or the newly anointed golden item, the blowtorch. Now, the locked doors are the key here. These are based off of the keys that you find all around the maps. Now, there's some that lead keys that lead to doors, and there's others that lead to objects like a toolbox or a duffel bag. Obviously, the ones that open the larger rooms are going to have a better chance of there being a rare item in them. Also, you can loot the Commander Helo. The Commander Helo is on every map. He spawns at 18 minutes every single time in a random location on Al Mazrah, and you can go shoot him down pretty easily with AR. And he will drop the commander crate, and inside there, you're gonna have a good solid chance for rare items. Same with the golden supply crates that spawn every single raid as well. They're gonna have great chances for golden items. So that's it. That concludes the top 15 things you need to know for Season 2 DMZ. Thank you so much for watching as always, and if you're looking for more DMZ content, then make sure to drop a sub, and I'll catch you in the next one.